this is a tough thing to do because if I just talk about it myself, it's not the same thing. But if somebody's experienced something that's going on with it, and I know you have, so I figured you could just, ask me whatever questions you think you'd like to, just in case it happens to you. God forbid, but just in case.
Well, and of course, having lost only part of my hair, not knowing at this point whether I would eventually lose all of my hair, it's certainly something I like to ask questions about. And I've seen you in lots of different styles and colors, but your hair always looks fantastic.
Thank you.
So the obvious question I think everybody likes to know is, how hard is it to take care of?
Easy. I mean, it's so much easier than when I have my own hair, because think about it, you got to wash your hair, you got to wash it and shower it every night pretty much. Maybe you can get away with a couple days, but that's it. I can go a full week, and because I have more than one hairpiece, longer than that, or maybe 10 days before I have to even do a wash. The inside you clean out at night with a little bit of, I use Dawn dishwashing liquid because it cuts grease. That's not a plug for Dawn. Dishwashing liquid. And it's super easy. Then when I blow dry it and wash it, I did 2 this morning, piece of cake. Took me, no time at all to wash them. I do them in the sink, but you can actually wash them in the shower if you want to. And then I just I let it kind of air dry a little bit, or partially dry it with a hair dryer, and then do a quick style with my blower styler, and I'm good to go for another 10 days.
Now, when you first get your hair, is it already styled, or do you take it to a hairdresser? How do you
got to
sure
take
you
it to a really good stylist. Or preferably somebody who's maybe cut a vacuum before, so they really know what they're doing, or just someone who's a really good hairstylist. And because it comes like Cousin It. It comes, if you order it in 12 inches, then you get 12 inches from the top down, 12 inches from the sides down, 12 inches from the back down. So it's kind of layered already, but it has no style, no bangs,
And when it comes
nothing.
Have you already chosen what color it is and what style it is before it shows up?
Absolutely. We do all of that if you needed it and we were going to start from scratch, we would talk all about what you wanted to achieve in terms of a style. Usually people have an idea of what they would like to look like. So we choose the color, the density, the direction of implant, the length, the curl pattern.
Wow, okay.
All of that we discuss ahead of time. So when it comes in, it's got the elements that are needed to get where you want to go. And then you need your stylist to just finish the whole thing off and maybe give you some highlights. You can do all that because it's cut ponytail, unprocessed hair that has been, it's injected into the base of the cap in the same direction that it grew out of someone else's head. So it's got all its cuticle on it. Nothing's been done to it. It's in pretty much pristine condition.
And do most people go with the style and color of hair that they had previously before their hair fell out?
Largely, yes. But, there's always people who want to just break out of the mold. And it's kind of I love it. I love it. And my stylists love it when somebody wants to break out of the mold and do something like they've never done before. For example, this is my mold, the long, in the Jennifer Aniston, type layers. However,
with the option.
Okay, presto changeo. All right, and this is how you take it off, by the way. You just release the suction and pop it off. And I might as well show you my tattoos. They're optional. Yeah, this is my newest one is the dragon. Dawn, my husband bought a motorcycle, and I thought, why not? Let's just get some tattoos. So hang on, here we go. Okay, my other incarnation. I might as well show you the inside while we're doing it. These are made differently than all other vacuums that you've heard of. This is entirely silicone. There is no glue used in between these layers. The older ones that we used to have had glue in them, and that made them actually quite stiff. And see, it's got a lot of flexibility, and it has a degree of vapor permeability as well, which makes it cooler than the ones we used to have.
And I assume it's still fairly warm to wear on a hot day, or
yeah, I mean, it could be a little warm on a hot day, like any wig would be. The nice thing about it, though, is when you wear a regular wig and you sweat, it goes right into the hair of that wig.
Okay.
Where this is a prosthetic. It's all smooth on the inside. All I've got to do is put a little bit of cool water inside it, hold the hair back, dump it out, and I'm good to go.
So it won't actually
and I can
affect
clean
your style?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Okay, and then you put it on just by positioning. I use the tips of my fingers just to position the ear tabs, and then reach up in the hair and push down, burp the air out, let go, and I'm good to go.
Voila.
Voila. So this is another me. Give it a tug so you know that it stays on well.
No, so it's really on there.
It's really on, yeah.
Is there anything I think this is a really common question, if there's anything you can't do with it on. Can you swim with it on?
Oh yeah, you can swim with it on. I mean, we try to tell people to be a little careful if they're going into a lot of chlorine, because
Right.
chlorine isn't good for anybody's hair. If you're blonde and you spend a lot of time in a chlorine pool, you know it turns your hair green.
Right.
So, but there's nice ways around that. You just use some conditioner first. If you go in with wet hair, it's much better because it doesn't absorb the chlorine. That's a good tip for anybody going in chlorine, but it's fine. I mean, you know I downhill ski. You know, been doing that. And Don and I have a motorcycle, and I can put my helmet on and take it off, and it does not budge my hair. And, you know.
Now, if
usual
this was
stuff.
your only wig, your only style,
Mhm.
how long would this last you before you'd have to shop for a new one?
They last anywhere from, well, companies usually say 2 to 4. In my experience, it's been 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
You'd have to try and kill it in 3 years. And they can be repaired. That's the other thing. Up until about the 5th year of their life, they can go back to the factory and be repaired.
Okay.
And when it comes back, it's like brand new again. They can add back any hair that might have gotten lost. And I should tell you right now, that's one of the big things that people, usually when people get hair loss on a piece, it's because they're doing something to cause what we call mechanical breakage. The hair doesn't just fall out of it. For example, if somebody puts their hair on and then goes back and forth like this, after a while, if you bend anything back and forth enough times, it'll just break off. So we try to do that, you know, try to get people to not, you know, mess with their, or you do this kind of thing. You're always tucking your hair behind your ears, and it's fine to tuck your hair behind your ears, but you got to be careful not to just do the repeated action.
Right.
Anyway, but other than that.
Now, the hair itself, obviously, if I don't cut my hair, I'll get split ends and things like that. And because it's natural hair, it'll react the same, I'd assume?
Well, yeah, I mean, it will.
But then I guess you're
But
not
I'm
drying it and
right.
brushing it as much.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then
I'm not
makes sense.
washing it as often as I would my own hair, and I'm being careful. I don't use hot irons or anything like that on it. I bought this hair setter thing that uses sponge rollers and steam, and it's so gentle on my hair. I've got the pieces, this one, I mean, look at this. I've had this same piece for 3 or 4 years.
Oh, it doesn't look worn at all.
No.
So really anything that would be good for normal, healthy hair anyway is obviously good for your prosthetic.
Exactly.